And I just feel like at any point, anyone that's trying to like better themselves or like, build generational wealth or whatever goals that they have, you're always somewhere in a bag. So it's like a state of mind. So you could be a door dasher, you could be, a podcaster, you can be, a videographer, an aspiring actress. As long as you're always shooting towards your goals, you're always somewhere in the bag.
Breaking the silence, taking the dive in. Nikki pulling strings like she playing the violin. Made in his likeness, radiant vibrance. Give them all glory, ain't no way to deny it. She gon' make you laugh, she gon' stimulate your mind. Making things shake, she ain't in the wasting time. They can come close but can't imitate the grind. Got a different way to illustrate and innovate designs. BTS podcast, gotta watch that. Teaching us the game, that mean Nikki got class. If you watch it once, you gon' wanna stop back. This an opportunity that you cannot pass. Unleash your inner voice, cause better days coming. Better days, get ready for better days. Better days, better days. Better days, get ready for better days. Better days, better days.
Welcome back to another episode of Breaking the Silence, where stories are shared, voices are heard, and healing begins. I'm your host, Arthur Nikki Nicole. Here on Breaking the Silence, we have real conversation about life, healing, resilience, and the moments that shape who we become. Because sometimes the very things we struggle with silently are the things that connect us together. So tonight, I'm sitting down with a woman who didn't just build a brand, she became one. That's all I'm going to give y'all. So after the countdown, please welcome this amazing woman to the platform.
Every story has a voice, a message, a purpose. Welcome to the Breaking the Silence podcast with Arthur Nikki Nicole.
Somewhere in the bag, okay, they like, where you at, where you at? Drop a pin, send the addy, yeah, I'm somewhere in the bag. They like, hey, where you at, where you at? Drop a pin, send the addy, yeah, I'm somewhere in the bag. Okay, they like, where you at, where you at? Drop a pin, send the addy.
Hey. Thank you so much for coming and being a part of Breaking the Silence. I'm excited about having this conversation because you know what you do is amazing. I've been watching your work, I can't wait to sit down with her. So before we get started, tell everybody a little bit more about yourself.
So my name is Tatiana, Colorado. Go by Goalz. And first and foremost, I'm from Fayetteville, North Carolina, born and raised. So I saw that J. Cole mural in that intro. First of all, intro's fire. But of course, shout out to Fayetteville, North Carolina 26, and you already know what it is. So I was born and raised there, but for like 10 years. I lived in Charlotte, North Carolina, and now currently coming up on my third year in Atlanta, Georgia. I came here to pursue my entrepreneurial dreams. I just left corporate, or corporate left me last August 6th, 2025. So I'm full time. I own Goalz Visuals. So we're a creative content agency, like I said, based out in Atlanta, Georgia. And we pretty much create creative content for entrepreneurs that increases revenue. So, and then I also have a real estate investing business as well. We have one door so far, and we're quickly moving into trying to find our second property and our third, and so forth. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell. So thank you so much for having me on. I'm excited.
Wow, I told y'all she was amazing. You heard all of that? But listen, I live in Fayetteville.
Oh, you live in Fayetteville? Okay, okay. Yeah, see, I
That's
thought
crazy.
so from the intro, whatever. I'm like, she gotta have some roots to like put your intro in that setting. So that was smart,
Yeah.
by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I've been in Fayetteville for about 10 years, but I'm originally from South Carolina. So I
Okay.
try to incorporate my roots into my podcast. You got it. You can't never ever forget where you come from.
As
You
you
can't.
should.
You can't. You
Hardly
can't.
home, but always repping. So
Exactly, exactly. So now, Tatiana, before the break, before the name, who were you before people started watching? And when nobody wasn't watching?
first of all, I didn't realize I was being watched. Let's start there. Um, who was I? That's a good question. I feel like we're always on a constant journey of actually getting to know ourselves. So like even as you get to know a certain iteration of yourself, there's going to be things that happen, people you meet, experiences you have, um that kind of just shift your perspective and your paradigm, and so therefore birthing a new person. And so prior to, I guess, me being Goalz Visuals or Goals, um I was finding myself like a lot of people do. I had a couple different brands that just didn't really like stick. I'm trying to think if I could think of some, like my OG brand back in the day when I was in college was called the TC Experiment. And what is that, you ask? I have no idea. And I think that might answer your question. I think, and I'm just really realizing this as I'm speaking, I really believe that Goalz Visuals is the culmination of the TC Experiment. That is me arriving at my latest iteration of myself. And so although I'll probably still change, like, I'll have experiences, I'll meet new people, certain things will happen. At this point, I'm probably like, I'll still be Goals, but like 2.0, 3.0. But like I'm at my like latest and greatest model. Like
Ooh,
we're at iPhone 17 Pro Max, 2 terabytes right now. So
wow.
yeah. So before I was just finding myself trying things, failing at things, and just learning, failing fast and learning. So that was me prior to this current version of myself that you see.
That's crazy because I tell people all the time, life in general, anything that you do in life is trial and error. Before I knew what equipment to use when it came to podcasts, I had to try things. So I wasted a lot of money now, but you have to get to that point where you constantly upgrading yourself, constantly building yourself, constantly pouring into yourself because if you don't, then what's the point?
Right. And shout out to you. This is the coolest. Like, now we connected a while back, but I know like we had an exchange, and then you have like, I would say you have a very good guest like onboarding system. Like I was very clear every step. You even sent me a reminder email. I like on the calendar appointment where, I had to fill in my information so you could like get to know me, a little bit before the conversation. Intro is fire, the graphics, everything. Like, yeah, I'm enjoying myself. Even prior to even coming on here, I was like, oh, this is cool. I actually have a podcast as well. And I'm like,
Ooh.
It's called Somewhere in a Bag. That's where that song.
Oh.
So I literally Somewhere in a Bag is a metaphysical location. It's not a real location, obviously. And I just feel like at any point, anyone that's trying to like better themselves or like build generational wealth or whatever goals that they have, you're always somewhere in a bag. So it's like a state of mind. So you could be a door dasher, you could be, a podcaster, you can
Mhm.
be, a videographer, an aspiring actress. As long as you're always shooting towards your goals, you're always somewhere in the bag. So I actually took some tidbits from like your process. I'm like, okay, I need to get my system smooth like this.
But you know what? That's time. You live, you learn. Like you go through a lot of things. In the beginning, you know what I was doing? I was reaching out to people and saying, "Hey, you want to be on a podcast?" And then I was like, "Nah, I got to get a little bit more professional image going." So then I got with the county, and then I was like, "You know what? Day by day, it's just day by day, building yourself." But thank you. That means my hard work don't go unnoticed. Thank
Of
you.
course, no. Actually, the time is gonna pass, and to piggyback on your point, the time is gonna pass regardless. So the best teacher is like people look at failures as a bad thing, but
Mhm.
you really just need to fail in order to learn. That's the only way you can improve. And in order to improve on the final version, you need to create a first version first, right? So there's a lot of people out there. First of all, there's a lot of people out there who are still thinking about starting a podcast. So there's there.
Yes.
So kudos to you for just starting. Second of all, um, there's a lot of people who don't. Do you know that the statistic? I think you've been doing this for a while. Am I right?
Two
Um,
years.
2 years. Okay. How many episodes in are you? Do you know?
Oh man, I got over 1,000. Actually, over 6,000 episodes for 2 years.
Wow. So you
I
know what?
was
You
I was
know
pumping for a minute.
You know what? That is amazing because I'm about to tell you something that'll blow your mind. A lot of people's podcasts don't make it past the sixth or seventh episode.
Yep, yep.
So, wow, if you like, that is a big number. And that's really the name of the game is consistency. So, yeah, shout out to you. Wow, that's amazing. I can't wait. I need to catch up. I need to
Look, but see, in the beginning, I was just man, I was doing like 50 episodes in 1 month.
Mm,
I was just rolling, and then I slowed down a lot. I was like, you know what, that's too much. Yeah, I had other podcasts saying, "How do you do that?" I said, "I don't know. I just 5 episodes a day, just pumping." But I was doing it full time for a little bit too. Now I was,
okay. And you
so
had like
maybe
a new guest each episode, or did you do some by yourself?
a new guest.
Yeah, did you have like a different guest each episode? Wow.
Hmm.
I don't
And
even
different,
I don't know what
and
the fuck
di-
all those people.
and a different. But see, and then I was also that's not counting like Twisted Tuesdays that I do that segment. It's not counting the exclusive episodes. That's just season. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Well, here, let me tell you something. I'm gonna be completely transparent. I'll be lucky if I get one episode out per month. So kudos to you. I did start out on StreamYard too. So shout out StreamYard. Um, my first what season am I even on? I'm only on my second season or the third season, the beginning of the third season. But my first season was completely virtual.
Mm.
So like now I've moved to like in person solely.
Ooh.
That kind of like
Ooh.
throws a little, challenge. And of course, running businesses and things like that, it gets tough. But yeah, shout out to you because 2,000 episodes is crazy. That's what's up.
So now let's get back to you. Now, a lot of people, want to build a brand, right? A lot of people say, "I am the brand," but don't even know where to start. So, what was your first real step in starting this process?
That's a good question. Well, first, once I arrived at like I would say we're at goals 1.0 right now, right? So, like I said, I'll probably continue to like build and grow from here, but in order to start a brand, you have to be who you say you are. So, and you have to say it with your chest, and you have
Ooh,
to say it multiple times, and you have to be consistent. So, once you pick a lane, pick a vibe, even all the way down to picking a color, picking your color scheme, picking your monogram or like your logo, you got to pick it and you got to stand on it. So, once you find it, marry it. And then once you marry it, it's time to like shine. So like I have goals is in the name of everything that I have my hands in except for Somewhere in a Bad podcast. And I mean even right, I'm wearing my brand right now. I have merch and this shirt right here that I have on. This is my saying that I say at the end of every YouTube video, podcast. Goals are free, hustle so separately.
I like that.
So, and as you can see, so these are my brand colors. Basically, the blue and the black, and then the white kind of offsets. So, I I found my vibe. I found my lane. I married it. I doubled down, and I just keep repeating myself. Like I am your favorite brand content strategist, and who's gonna tell me different? And then
But you,
everything that I say and do is a reflection of that.
but you know what? You said something major. Be who you say you are. It took me a while to like lock into that thing. But you know how people say over and over again, what is your niche? What is your niche? What you At first I was like, what are they talking about? Like I don't know what my niche is. I just interview anybody. But then I had to start thinking about it. Your niche is pretty much being yourself every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Do what you love to do. Talk about what you love to talk about. That's it in a nutshell. Be authentic.
1000%. Yep. And you do it, you say it and you do it. And that's really what it is. You got to say it with your chest and then follow it up with actions. You can't say, like, I liken it to an example I like to use a lot of times is for us, for our millennials out there, our GOAT, greatest of all time rapper, always and will be, for the majority of us, is Lil Wayne, right? And regardless of who disagrees with that, that man successfully branded himself as such because he said it, he meant it. He said it with his chest and he followed that up with constant features. I mean, we remember that era where you could not listen to a song and either he's actually featured or he did like a Wheezy mix of it. And after so many times in his greatest rapper alive, greatest rapper alive, greatest rapper alive, some people that barely even listen to hip hop saying the same thing because he said it with his chest and he meant it and he put the work behind it. And that's how he branded himself. And that's how anybody can brand themselves by following that formula. Say it with your chest, mean it, put the work in, and everything else will follow. Because who's going to
Yeah,
check?
exactly, exactly. Now you said you do in-person interviews now. Now I know there had to be a shift from doing virtual to in-person. What kind of challenges came with that?
Um. Well, there's the obvious geographical challenges. Like for example, if I wanted to interview you, I would have to like hit you up when I'm in town, because my people still live there, my family and everything, and I do come often, so that could be even a possibility. We could talk about it offline. Do a little Uno reverse and have you on my show. um, but yeah, geographically it's kind of challenging, but not so much now because I travel like anyways. So if somebody's interested, 9 times out of 10 either end up in their city at some point or like end up somewhere in the area. So it's but there's been most of mine, because it's been such a shift, obviously it's more logistics behind, like if I do travel to somebody, I'll have to bring like my mics and stuff, all the equipment that you're sitting in right now. Like I'd have to bring that. But I will say, I love the in-person vibe. Like there's just nothing that like beats it, but again, I am restricted geographically, so like I have to kind of like and you have to do some real planning, because even within the same city, Atlanta, I know you probably, even if not experienced but heard of Atlanta traffic. And so yeah, so I would say the biggest challenge for me has just been like, there are people in other places that I want to interview, and if it came down to it, I'll happily hop back on StreamYard, but I just would prefer, to do that like one-on-one interaction.
But I agree. It is different in person. I just recently did a Mother's Day episode with my mom in person, so I can schedule later. And just me and her being able to talk to each other in person and laugh, and all of those out, that you have it in StreamYard, but being able to be there with that person and feel their vibe and their emotions and everything, I love it. But I'm trying to slowly get there because I know, like you said, you got to travel with your equipment. You got to set up and you got to have the right equipment for the video. And it takes a little bit more to me to edit the in person than it does the virtual. To me,
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah, you got a point there. It does. Um and then especially, I think you could probably do a mix. Like I don't even think you don't necessarily have to like transition per se. Oh, I only say that because of the volume that you do. So like, and y'all, I'm getting to know Nikki right now in real time. We didn't get to chat much prior to here, but so I don't know, Miss Nikki, how much you have, like what other endeavors you have, or what have you. But I just feel like flexibility wise, even if this is your full time thing, I think that would be like the amount of episodes you do. I think that would be, you would be pooped trying to do every single one in person.
right. For real. But yeah, I just want a studio one day. So I know if I'm gonna go that way, I gotta start prep. But I research a lot. I
Yeah.
research until I get it right. And then I'm like, okay, I think I'm gonna make this step now. So don't hold me to it just yet now. Just not just yet. So
Right.
now, what's something you think people think is easy about influencing that's actually not?
Um, I don't know. I wouldn't consider myself an influencer, and that's
Yes,
crazy.
you are.
I don't know. Okay, here's the thing. I think by default, I would consider myself a content creator, um, simply because I own a business that content creates. So of course I have to present myself as my one of my main and first portfolio pieces, right? So me creating content for myself is a reflection of what I can do for others. So I'm kind of like, I prefer to be behind the camera, contrary to popular belief, and what it may appear online. But again, content funnels are just that like paramount for growing a brand and growing a business. So I consider myself a content creator, but like I feel like influencer, like those are the folks that are like 10K plus, and like they can actually move you to like take action simply because you told them to. Like, hey, I like her. I follow her content. I trust her. And maybe, I don't know. Now that I say it out loud, possibly. But I'm not at the 10K yet. And for clarity, working with my creative agency, we are not engagement centered. What our main focus is revenue. So don't let the followers fool you. I have clients that are up in the six figures plus, that have less than 2,000, 3,000 followers. So followers do not always equate revenue. So let's be clear. Unless you are like an influencer and that's your main bag, and you have 10K plus, so you're getting the brand deals, you're doing the UGC, the user generated content, things like that. But we're revenue focused around here. We're trying to get the money on. So if you're looking for 40K plus followers, I don't know, go buy them or something. Don't buy followers. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. We can tell. We can tell when y'all buy followers, by the way. Just saying.
Mhm. Just saying. Just saying. So now we got to have this conversation about AI. Now, as being a content creator and seeing all this stuff that people doing with AI, how does that make you feel about the industry as a whole? Like, do you think it's going to disappear eventually and it's going to be just be AI generated stuff?
I'm glad this is recorded. I'm glad it's recorded. I don't want to date it because I don't know where you're gonna drop it, but my thing is y'all can screen record this right now. Like, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna go ahead and predict that. It's not even a prediction. I think it's already happening. I feel like people are already experiencing AI fatigue. Um, because I'm experiencing AI fatigue. I can tell that your flyer was made by AI and it's bad, and I want you to take it down. I don't know who that's for. If you just posted an AI flyer, please take it down. If you're gonna do anything, go to Canva. Go to Canva, and you can use like AI elements to build your flyer. But please just don't throw up don't throw up a flyer that you put in a little prompt and then boom, just spit it out. We can tell. Also, these AI twins, we can tell. And we're tired. And what's really gonna boil down to is there's going to be a reversion back into authenticity. Like the brands that, and I'm not saying don't use AI sometimes, and even me, I'm learning how to like incorporate AI into my video production. Just because we don't always have a budget to like blow up a car. But if we can do it with AI, fine. I'm cool with like a coexistence, but like the takeover aspect, I do think that's where things were trending, but I feel like people are already getting AI fatigue, and there's going to be a return into the people that stuck with um you know creating like actual content like we're doing right now. And those brands that stuck with that and kind of just sprinkled AI for a little razzle dazzle, those are going to be the brands that are going to have longevity.
Yes, yes. And it's crazy because I'm a graphic designer too. So, people look at me like I create my stuff from scratch. I don't use AI tools, but for graphic design, it's kind of rough because you got people that just type in what they want to be, and boom, AI it creates something for them. I mean,
Well, that's the key word. It creates something, but
something.
that something isn't always the best end product. Like, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. So I'm not opposed to folks doing that, but I just feel like, for example, if I'm just having some kind of like event, like I'm extra. So if I have like even something at my house, I'm making some fancy flyer on Canva, and I'm not a graphic designer at all, but I'm a Canva designer. So I'll make a little cute thing. But like when it comes down to like my brand, like my logo, that's something, again, we talked about establishing a brand, growing a brand. That logo is the first representation of you, and it represents you when you're not in the room. So for you to like put a prompt in, also this sparked a thought too. We're also going to start to see and I hope I say this word right. I know what I'm trying to say. We're going to start seeing content become homogenous because of the fact that people are putting in these prompts, but everything is coming from the same pot. And I have experienced this firsthand because I have colleagues and we do content days with one another. And there was one particular situation where we were talking about the same topic. Now, mind you, we're in the same industry, but we're in two separate houses. We use two different prompts and two different chat GPT platforms. I think I use like chat GPT specifically, and then he used like Claude or something. And do you know that our script that we came up with ended up with the same hook? Do with
That's
that information
crazy.
what you will. So people are gonna get burnt out. Trust in building a brand, you need people to know, like, trust you. And trust is something that's super big and that's gonna be diluted as the evolution of AI continues. So do with that information what you will, but if you want your audience to continue trusting you and you don't want your stuff to sound like everybody, I'm not saying don't use AI, but try using it a little less than what you're using it right now. Trust me. You'll thank me
That,
later. Screen record
that.
that.
So now, for people that's watching, they're gonna be like, now, what makes her different? What separates her from, people that just post every day? So, what sets you apart from everybody that's just posting for content? They're content creators, period, because everybody wants to be a content creator today for whatever reason.
um I mean, I think you're right. I think everybody does want to be a content creator. Let's start there. But everybody is not willing to create the content. And not everybody is creating the content. So people say a lot of things. I want to lose 50 pounds, but I also haven't been to the gym yet this week. How bad do I really want to lose the 50 pounds? You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people say things. So just starting there. As far as what makes me different, I never wanted to be a content creator per se, not for myself. I like building other people's brands. However, again, I'm my best portfolio piece. So in building the brands of others, I need to show that I know how to build a brand myself. So therefore, I kind of inadvertently had to become a brand. So, um, but I do understand why many would like to, because once you create a following and a large following at that, again, and once you've gone through the whole process, your content funnel has set your audience up to where they know, like, and trust you. You can literally sell them whatever, and all you need is about 10% of your followers to actually purchase the thing, whatever the thing is, and you could create a sustainable income off of that.
Wow. But you know what? It's so much to content creating. Sometimes it can be exhausting. You got some platforms say post 3 to 4 times a day. You got some twice a day, some 5 to 7. It's so many rules to content creating. You have to post at the right time on the right day. Is that all that's true, or is it just something that the platforms say you have to do?
So it's true to an extent. I will say that you'll see a lot of discrepancies. Like, for instance, currently right now, like, the the main service that Goalz Visuals offers is our VIP content day, where we basically take content strategy off of our clients' plate so they can focus on scaling their business in all other aspects. And their content funnel wise, we're creating a content strategy that increases revenue, right? So in saying that, um now my ADHD, I done forgot what's the question again, friend? What you just asked me?
We were talking about the struggle of content creating, like how you post it, you got to
Oh,
post it
is
at a
it
certain time.
true? The question
Yeah.
was, is this true? So where I was getting at was, so we use Metricool to schedule for our clients. So, like, we have those content days. We've already had your strategy call, identified your goals. We planned, script all the content. We came out for about 4 hours, or you came to us and we shot. We came back, edited it, captioned it, and scheduled it. Right? We use Metricool. But if you read like a Metricool blog, because a lot of these scheduling platforms, they write a lot of these blogs that say post X amount of times. You can read a Metricool blog and a HubSpot blog. That's another scheduler, and they're going to say two different things. And me personally, from my personal experience, and I can only speak for me and the clients that I've had in the past, there's no right or wrong answer. Like, yes, there's statistical like numbers backed by like human psychology that suggests like the best times of days to post, just based on the human experience. When do we go to work? When are we scrolling? Blah, blah, blah. But the real truth, you're going to have to post, and you're going to have to be okay with nobody seeing it for like the first 90 days. And based on your metrics, and if you have a scheduler, there's going to be a dashboard, or even if you post just directly, you can look at the Meta Business Suite analytics. That's going to tell your story, because based on your region and you specifically and your specific audience, because you have to think about these blogs, they don't know who you are, they don't know what you do, they're just general numbers based on human psychology. But your metrics know that you are a podcaster, that you're a woman, that you live in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Your dashboard, your metrics reflect that. Your demographic reflects that. So there is where the real story is. And you could even use, this is a perfect spot to use something like a chat GPT, where you can feed your metrics into ChatGPT and tell it, hey, based on these demographics, when's the best time for me specifically to post? And hopefully you use it enough to where it knows about you, your brand or business, or whatever it is you're trying to accomplish in life. And then at that point, it can use that data in order to tell you when you specifically need to be posting.
She just dropped a gem, y'all. Y'all better write that down. But what I have noticed though, like I schedule my posts at the same time every single day. But what I've noticed that if I just decide I want to do a funny video, or I just want to post something real quick and I just post it get more views than the schedule post that I've already put out there at that time every week, same time.
Now, I don't claim to know everything, and I honestly would have to do some research, but just from my knowledge, I have heard that there is a slight disadvantage to scheduling. Um, and I'm not saying that's what's happening here, but I'm not saying that's not what's happening. But here's the thing. You could do a combination of both. The reason I suggest scheduling for anybody is because for mental health purposes, mainly, if nothing else, because there is such a like, you get like such a feeling and a demand to like having to post and always be recording this and doing that. And it's like, if you schedule, you give yourself a breathing room. So like, typically I try to at least post once a day. And I know somebody out there like, oh, guess what? It's working for me. It works for me, my brand, and what I got going. Okay. So I try to post at least once a day at 11 a.m. every day across about 11 platforms. And that's just a coincidence that all the numbers are 11. But, well, not the 11, but the 11 platforms part. But it protects your mental health, because we all get tired, and sometimes we just want to be present. Like me creating content constantly for myself and other people, I need a break. Sometimes I take social media completely off of my phone, period, just so I can reset. And then like if I need to engage, once I feel in the mental space, I might go on my laptop or my iPad. I got them on all of my other devices except for my personal phone, because I'm an ADHD warrior. Number one, I get easily distracted, and I need to lock in right now. Like I have goals. See what I did there? I have goals, and I need to lock in sometimes. But not even just locking in. Sometimes we get sick. Sometimes a family member passes and we're grieving. So what's gonna happen? You're gonna stop posting, you're already scheduled. You don't have to worry about it. You can go to whoever's funeral. You can go on a vacation. You can go on a cruise, and you don't have to pay that. You can completely disconnect and don't have to pay the little internet package and just vibe out sometimes, because this internet stuff, it gets heavy and in multiple different ways. And so scheduling allows you space and time for humanity, I feel like. If nothing
Yes,
else.
yes. Oh my God, yes. I'm trying to post at 12 noon every day. I was sitting here, but I be tracking it too. I look at how many views I get on a Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday because I posted at noon. But I'm trying to stay there because, like you said, that consistency, it brings the views. It
Yep.
really does. It really does.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So now,
Yeah, that's important too. Like that's just a secondary or really the primary, but mental health over everything for me. But consistency as far as from a brand perspective, 100%, because the algorithm kind of punishes you slightly for being inconsistent. So if you really are trying to focus on growth and engagement, like scheduling, um, I don't know if the theories and the myths and the conspiracies about schedulers are true or not, but over time, it's more um it's more supplemental than detrimental. So I would recommend for anybody to schedule their posts.
absolutely. So now I'm down to my least favorite part of the show, the last question.
Okay.
If social media disappeared tomorrow, would your brand still stand?
This is my favorite question. This is my favorite question. So you want me to be 100,000% honest? Um, right now, probably, but barely. And I would say that because I have been very social. Like, once I've established like goals 1.0, I feel like I would describe myself, or have how I've been describing myself this whole interview. Um, I rely heavily on social media. I do have some touch points as far as like email goes. I do have my own website that's capable of like going live and things like that. But I really think that that's going to be like a Q2 goal of mine, is to beef up my email communication, and like thinking of ways that I can even build community offline. Like I've been looking at some um recurring events. A colleague and I are currently curating an event series for the first Tuesday of each month called In the Mix, where we kind of just meet up in person, have some coffee, and create content and network. And it's like not just content creators, but like entrepreneurs who create content. And so we'll just get together and create content together as well. So that's something. And I just now, yesterday, years old, when I started using Go High Level or GHL. So I'm hoping I can build in my email marketing a little bit more, and try to figure out some like touch points that don't include or aren't super centered around social media. But to my honest response at this moment, it would survive, but it'd be hanging on by a thread.
Not by three.
A little thread.
Man. All right, so this is the moment where I pass the mic to you. So after
Okay.
the countdown, this is the moment for you to let everybody know how to follow your journey. What's coming up next. If you want to share all the good stuff about you and how to connect with you after the countdown.
Yeah.
So before I pass the mic, I just want to say thank you. I am grateful to be able to converse with some amazing people doing amazing things every day and share them with you so you can know about these people. So thank you for showing up. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting Breaking the Silence. It means the world to me. So if this space has inspired you, challenged you, or made you feel seen in some type of way, do me a favor. Subscribe to this channel. like this episode, share it with someone who needs it, and drop that comment and let me know you're here because I want to hear your thoughts. Your support means everything to me. It keeps these conversations going. So now, let me pass the mic so you can know how to get in contact with this amazing guest. So let's get back into this episode.
Yet again, the production goes crazy. But listen, if y'all want to stay tapped into Goalz Visuals, you can find me at Goalz, just like you see on the screen with a Z _visuals on literally any platform that you could think of. I do have a personal brand Instagram, and that one is at that's Goalz, like OHTA. Can't spell OHTHATSGOALZ. So it's like that's Goalz with a Z. Okay, so that's where you can follow me. What's next? I am working on a school community. So we do have a free tier. In that school community, we meet every Tuesday. Actually meeting this evening, Tuesday at 8 p.m. To answer all of your social media, marketing, branding, entrepreneurial questions that you might have, and just to like fellowship, network, things like that. And in the near future, we're dropping the Goal Print, which is an e-course that'll help you DIY your own VIP content day until you're possibly ready to have us do it completely for you. If you're not ready for that yet, we're working on a DIY course. So again, you can follow Goalz Visuals at Goalz _visuals, all platforms. You can follow me personally. That's Goalz. And then if you want more information, you can visit www.goalzvisuals.com.
Well, thank you so much for coming and sitting down with me. This has been amazing. And to know that you from Fayetteville, we're really going to lock you in now. Yeah. So next time you in town, please let me know so we can connect.
I for sure will. 1,000%. Definitely will.
And thank you everybody else for tuning into this amazing episode today. I hope y'all learned something. She dropped some jewels today. She dropped some jewels. If y'all heard them, I hope y'all caught those jewels she dropped. So to all content creators out there, don't give up. Just be consistent. Keep moving. Because y'all got this. Just believe in yourself. Be yourself. Like she said, be yourself and stand on it. And mean it. So if this conversation left you feeling seen, heard, maybe inspired, remember your story matters, your voice matters, and healing begins when we stop suffering in silence. So until next time, keep speaking your truth, keep showing up for yourself, and keep breaking the silence because healing starts when we do what? We speak. Next time, everybody. Later.
Better days, slowly but surely it's a better space that'll waste my mind, so I meditate till I levitate, I elevate, but I learn not to hesitate no more, keep moving forward, chase my goals and focus more towards it, hate the lows but I need those to flourish, place my goal in front, that's what's important. So I ask myself what inspires me, breaking out of my shell, feeling yo shot quiet me, and now I'm breaking the silence like I'm Nick in the cold, let's go. Promise you gon' see better. Hey, gotta keep going till you see them. Promise you gon' see better. Hey, you gotta keep going till you see them.